Hello, welcome to this video, to this live masterclass that we have today on unlocking your psychic senses and becoming a divine channel. My name is Ashley Seymour. For those of you who may be viewing who are new to this space, I am a Holy Fire Reiki Master, a multidimensional ceremonialist and channel for Sophia Christ Consciousness, and I mainly support women in coming into their power, their authentic self, their soul gifts. So welcome to this discussion. So happy to have you here, whether you're watching live or you're catching the replay. We are going to just start off with a grounding and just a nice little prayer and meditation to open up our bodies, open up our central channel to perceive more of what I'll be discussing today beyond just the transmission of words, but to really feel into the energy and to psychically sense more of what I'm speaking about so that this wisdom really becomes embodied in your own soul, in your own physical body, and really grounded into this moment. So just make yourself comfortable, get into a space where your spine can be long, shoulders rolled back, and taking a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out as you arrive into this space. Letting your eyes close. And as you inhale, bring your heart forward so that your spine lengthens a little bit more. Tuck your chin in just slightly and allow the spine to lengthen up. We'll move this short prayer, meditation, activation experience just in this seated position with your spine long so that you truly have this sense of your central channel opening and aligned to receive the beautiful, ever-flowing rays of divine light that are radiating to you and just shifting into a space of greater perception of this beautiful divine connection that you already have, always have within you. So let's take a moment to just ground deeply, taking a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, letting the breath flow down the body, down into your pelvis, down into your legs, down into the earth. One more deep breath in this way, feeling the heart expanding wide, letting yourself release any of the tension, the tightness, breathlessness. And as you exhale, letting your breath flow deeply down through your pelvis, down into the earth. Again, let the legs, the lower half of your body, become grounded, heavy, weighted, as if you are in this place of being immovable, like a heavy stone that's been grounded into the earth for thousands of years. And feel yourself that rooted, that present in your body and present in this moment. And from that space of rooted presence, now bring your awareness upwards to the crown of your head, the seventh chakra point, the space just above the top of your head. Envision that space like this beautiful, wide, vibrant orb of white, iridescent light, vital and alive and emanating light in all directions. And as you bring your awareness up to the crown chakra, you'll begin to feel energy rising upwards through your body. If you don't feel it right now, imagine it. Get curious about it. And as you breathe in, you'll invite this rise of awareness, of life force energy from that immovable place of your rooted body, from the root of your body, and feeling it rising up as you rise your consciousness up towards the crown. And as you breathe out, there's this downward waterfall sensation. And with the crown open, you're allowing this sense of receptivity and surrender as you allow this infinite rush of sacred divine light to flow down through the spiritual access point of your crown chakra, down through the central column of your body, back down to the root. Inhaling from that immovable place of your rooted self, rising your consciousness up all the way to that seventh chakra. And as you exhale, you open yourself further. You inwardly affirm, I receive, I receive, I receive. And allowing this beautiful flow of powerful divine light to open you, to expand you, to activate you, to cleanse you and heal you as you receive, receive, receive. And every time you do this, when you inhale, your inner light, your inner divine light grows stronger. And when you breathe in, you begin to feel the stronger current of beautiful divine consciousness rising up the central column, rising to that crown chakra. And exhaling, receive, receive, receive. Feeling now that this beautiful divine light just surrounds your field, surrounds your body, flows, completely saturates your body, and is creating this field of beautiful divine light, this sphere of light around you now, to uplift your consciousness, to guide you into a space of greater perception, to activate your psychic senses, and to be open to receiving psychic information through all of your psychic senses while in this conversation, this masterclass today, to perceive beyond just the words that are being transmitted, but to receive also the divine wisdom that is flowing into you, because you are divine. So much wisdom you have access to and is already within you. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and a long, slow breath out as you come into a space of grounding. Beautiful. And you can open your eyes and return back to this space. So again, this was a simple, very simple practice to, if you didn't feel a lot of energy, flow, and movement, it's okay. This takes time, practice, focus, awareness, and living in this movement of energy and consciousness of energy. And if you did feel it, again, I'm sure that's very a practice you've engaged in, because naturally when you tune into yourself, when you tune into becoming a channel and activating your psychic senses, the energy is flowing through the major highway of the body, which is your central channel, the Sushumna Nadi. So it's this very apparent and present energy channel where you're going to feel a strong flow of energy. So I wanted to bring that practice forward because, again, this is part of what it feels like to experience your psychic senses opening. It literally feels like you're channeling different energy, although it is a part of you, but it's very different than your dense physical experiences in life. And you can have every single beautiful experience in life while channeling this divine energy. We don't have to separate it, and that's why I'm having this conversation, because it's about having this human experience and being able to channel this divine energy in all aspects of your life. But there is this sense of channeling, there is this sense of energy moving through you, this divine consciousness. It's of a different consciousness than just your human consciousness. And this is that feeling, that sense that something turns on inside of you where you recognize, like this is different. This is different than just my human consciousness, my 3D reality consciousness. This is my divinity coming through. And it truly is this sense of you opening up and allowing and expanding into who you really are. So I would love if you are here just sharing, say hello. I'd love to see who's here. Share your name, where you're coming from, where you're at right now. And we're going to dive in to today's conversation. So I have a lot to share with you for this conversation. I probably won't get through everything that I want to talk about, but that's okay, because so much of what I do and what I offer is about, in order to come into your power, in order to come into your soul gifts, in order to understand how to anchor into your sovereignty, it all threads back to you empowering yourself to understand who you really are. In order for you to do that, it's not about someone telling you who you are. It's about coming to that realization yourself. It's about unlocking your intuitive senses to a place where you perceive yourself. You're perceiving your soul. You're perceiving your guides and the divine messages, and you become your own inner authority. So developing your psychic senses is such an important part of coming into your power and knowing yourself. Oh, hi, Dee. Danica, oh, beautiful. I didn't know you were going to tune in today. Amazing. Welcome, welcome. So happy you both are here. Okay, so yeah, let's dive in. So becoming a divine channel really means to welcome in the radiant light frequencies of the divine, of God, of creator, of source, whatever word you use. So again, becoming a divine channel means to welcome in the radiant light frequencies of the divine into your human experience, and therefore activating the remembrance of your divinity in your soul and in your DNA, so that you awaken into your divine expression while in the human form. So again, this is really what it means to be this divine channel, is to just allow a greater perception of the divine light that's flowing to you. And there's so much. It's not just about perceiving, it's also about the ability to withstand and the ability to hold this divine light, which takes a lot of, we'll get into that. How do you develop yourself to just pump? Oh, I love it. Oh, you're bringing all of the rose of vibes, Danica. I love that. That is so sacred and beautiful. And thank you for welcoming me into your bath. So, okay, so the benefits of this, of becoming a divine channel, is living in absolute alignment with your sovereignty, living in absolute alignment with your inner authority, understanding your purpose, a feeling of deep peace, a feeling of safety, of trust in all that you do and all that you experience in life. So you're able to really heal yourself and therefore become a beacon of healing upon the earth. Okay, so what's happening here is that, oh, Rosemary, beautiful. So happy you're here. So when you are feeling this experience of divine consciousness moving through your body, and of course psychic senses can mean so much more. I just want to preface, you can activate your psychic senses to receive divine wisdom, connection with the divine. Right now I'm focusing on your actual direct experience, feeling of God in your body. This is so important because this is the foundation of all safety, of all knowing yourself, of all connection to your power and sense of self. But You can also use your psychic senses in many other ways, in intuiting information from your body, intuiting information from your surroundings, um, channeling information from different dimensions, from different lifetimes. There's so many ways you can do psychic readings for other people, which is what I focus on in my work as well, in my private sessions. So there's just so many ways to use your psychic senses, and I just wanted to expand that vision a little bit. And kind of what I'm wanting to focus on right now is the greatest psychic perception, which is that of our divinity, and is what the greater we can perceive our divinity in all ways, our psychic ability is going to strengthen and evolve in all these other aspects. If even if we're just focusing on this one aspect of, I'm going to experience my divinity, I'm going to receive more of the consciousness of the divine, I am going to surrender to what God feels like in my body, I'm going to receive the presence of the divine in every action of my life. This allows you to have so much greater psychic perception and all of the other interesting and fun aspects that you can use your psychic senses. Okay? All right, so when you are channeling this divine light into your body, this is the greatest source of healing. This is what helps old patternings of the mind, fractures of the soul, traumatic stories, parts of ourselves where we've lost our power, where we've disassociated from self. So many aspects of deep soul healing and, patterning that is allowing certain genome of our DNA to be activated that's not in alignment with our highest good, gets to be healed. Literally, when you're welcoming in spiritual divine light into your body, you're literally switching off, switching off old patterning, these stories, these perspectives, these traumas, these fractures that actually aren't serving your highest good, and welcoming in this divine activation that allows your highest expression to come through. Your ability to perceive life in a new way, your ability to channel your full sovereignty and power, your ability to activate more of your divine genome. So there's so much deep healing that can take place within yourself just by being a channel of divine energy. And when you are this beacon of light, it's literally like this light literally becomes anchored upon the earth as you walk, as you hug people, as you take your actions, as you create, as you speak. Your light, it flows out into everyone and everything you touch, just like our darkness can as well. And so when you become this channel of light, everything you touch becomes more imbued with this divine consciousness. So your light is literally awakening the divinity of Mother Earth. Mother Earth is already divine, but she is right now in a cycle just as we are, in a stage of awakening, in a stage of remembering, of coming into highest alignment. And so the more that and we are in a very intense time upon Earth where there's stark contrast of darkness and stark contrast of light, and it's a very difficult time because people are literally living on this one earth with very different levels of consciousness and awareness. And that's another conversation. I'm not going to go too deep into the timeline of the earth right now, but your light is so needed. It can't be stressed. I don't know how to stress it more than maybe just saying that I can't stress it more than your light is so important. It's so needed. And it's not like to put a weight on your shoulders and that, you wake up so anxious and like, oh my gosh, am I in my light today? It's not about that at all. It's just, it's a kind of a little wake up call in your heart and your body, and recognizing that you matter. And there's this there's this balance of life of like, yes, you're not that important, and yes, you are very important. Yes, you're a part of the bigger picture, and your individual light matters. It really does. And that you being this beacon of light upon the earth is affecting great change. And it's just by being you. It's just by being your most authentic self. And authentic doesn't mean perfect. Always remember, authentic doesn't mean perfect. And so your light, again, is literally awakening the divinity of Mother Earth and the people around you so that the consciousness of human beings begin to collectively rise into divine consciousness. And this is why, again, your light is so important, because what's happening is as you are creating your grid of light, it's meeting the grid of light of other light workers and divine light channels. And it's literally creating this field of light around the earth. You create, like if you've created a crystal grid before, if you've heard of people creating crystal grids upon the earth, like you, in its essence, you becoming this divine light is the crystal grid being created upon earth. And your light is reaching other lights. And this field begins to uplift the consciousness of earth so that people are rising out of this amnesia of their divinity. So many people still don't realize just how divine we are, and that we've been in such a slave mindset to our culture, to our government, to many different systems upon the earth, many dark systems. And it's about waking up and being completely in your sovereignty. And we need your light to do that. You need to wake up. You don't have to perfect it. It's just welcoming your light and creating this greater field around Mother Earth for others to just have that switch that flips. Just have that switch that goes, oh, okay, I see. And I claim my life. I claim my inner authority. I choose to connect to who I authentically am. Yeah, so when you're doing this, you become a clean, clear receptive to this divine light, and easily also you start to perceive your guides more. You start to perceive the wisdom of your soul, and you begin to feel and sense your spiritual and energetic self. Okay, so therefore, in order to truly become a divine channel and elevate to your highest potential and sovereignty, you must learn to actively unlock your psychic senses. All right. I'll talk about, how we do that in just a moment. And you're already doing that. I know if you're here, you already have been doing that. If this is called to you, I trust that you are already in a space where you are psychic, deeply psychic and in tune, and just wanting to, of course, continue to develop that and be this greater anchor of light. So, your psychic senses are the channel through which you perceive the divine, and your psychic perception can grow in strength and clarity over time. Rather, not can, it will, if you continue to focus on developing it and you continue to focus on developing spiritually. So, your psychic perception is something you can experience in every part of your life, not just in meditation, but through literally all moments of your day. And you truly become an anchor of light to flood through you. So, of course, there's more concentrated practices, certain meditations, techniques, activations, healing experiences, releasing the blockages that prevented you from accessing your intuition. There's right living practices, like things that you can really concentrate on to activate and greater perceive your the divine and intuit in other ways. But when you start doing that and actively doing it, you'll notice that you just naturally become a lot more open in all areas of your life to perceive psychic information that's coming through as you're in a conversation, as you're in the car driving along, as you're in nature or in your work or whatever it might be. You literally are a greater channel to perceive the divine in all moments. Okay, so divine light can flow through you brighter and easier through developing your psychic senses, because in order to develop your psychic senses, you must truly learn to develop your mind, really develop your mental body. Okay, when I talk about mind, it's not just the brain, it's part of it, but your mental body. And that's your ability to really concentrate, to focus. Okay, and then also you need to be able to heal your body. Okay, and meaning cleansing it, like physically cleansing, specific nutrition, um, cleaning the body of heavy metals. There's so much about nutrition and all of that. And I'm not going to go, maybe that'll be another conversation, because all of this, I obviously am so passionate about energetic healing and spiritual work and meditation and all of this. And because it's what I do, it's what I'm here for. And I recognize we also have a human body, and we're living in a world of absolute major toxins. And it's a very toxic world we live in, not only just with the pesticides in the food, but the heavy metals in the air, and a lot of the products we use. In our lineage, we get heavy metals passed down from mother to child, and it creates destruction in our body, these levels of toxins that we are dealing with in our environment, in our water, our food, our air. And no matter how much spiritual light we bring in, if we're not going to be able to focus and do our spiritual practices and heal and to concentrate and to think positively and to even have the energy to feel the presence of the divine, if our body is completely sludged with toxins, and we're dealing with disease. And so we need to heal the body as well. If this really resonates with you, just send me a DM if this is kind of sparking you right now and you feel like you want some support on the physical healing. Okay, so, but on the energy side of it, so of course, cleansing the body needs to be able to be ready to feel energized by the divine, take action on the divine guidance, have responsibility for your mission and your purpose, to feel enough energy, in the day, enough focus and concentration to take care of your responsibilities and do your spiritual practices. And all of this takes a balance of actual energy, physical energy in your body. Okay, so you also will need to strengthen your energy centers, your chakra centers, and your energetic system that's running throughout your body, and your auric body, your energy body surrounding you. Because when your energy body can only hold as much energy as it can withstand, as it's strong, as it has strength for. Excuse me. So as you do your meditation practices, as you consciously bring more and greater flow of divine energy through your body, your energy system becomes stronger to withstand greater perception and embodiment of divine light. Okay. Okay. So let's briefly talk what I'm talking about with these psychic senses. This is just going to be a very brief overview, because I'm already taking longer than I thought I would take going into this conversation today. But okay, so the psychic senses are, and we have all of them. You are not immune to one or more. You literally have all of these psychic senses. I know sometimes it's like, oh, I'm this Claire, I have this, but it's not, you don't just have some or a couple, or you don't have another. You have all of these psychic senses. Some of them will definitely come easier, and others you have to take time to develop. Okay, so first one is clairvoyance. All right, so the clair literally means to clearly, and means clarity, and voyance is seeing, sight. So clairvoyance means to clearly see spirit. Okay, so this would come through as, visuals, visual pictures. Okay, so say if you're, well, because this can happen in two ways. So you can psychically see with your eyes open, or you can psychically see with your eyes closed. Okay, so more commonly, people are going to see with their eyes closed. There's an internal psychic visual experience happening, but many people, and you included, will be able to, if you are interested in developing, you can also psychically see with your eyes open. So that would be like you're seeing an image of like, I just had a client share with me the other day that she was seeing like, she woke up in the middle of the night and looked outside the window and saw like silhouettes of people out there. Although there weren't really people out there, this was like a psychic vision, and it meant something symbolic and meaningful to her. So sometimes you can literally see something, a spirit, a guide, which, you know, can sounds, I know that sounds can sound really freaky and scary, which is why a lot of the work that I do when developing your intuition is learning how to have boundaries, how to grow at your own pace, how to release any fear around it, how to trust yourself, how to create sacred space, all of this that comes with psychically developing. But okay, and then on the other hand, you can psychically see with your eyes closed. Okay, so this is oftentimes where you might be closing your eyes and seeing, like you're in meditation, you might see a symbol, you might see an image, you could see like a whole movie scene going by. And that's as you develop more and more, you can actually start seeing whole scenes very clearly, people's faces, colors, images, and so on. Okay. All right, next is, and again, there's so much more I could say there, but I'm gonna just keep on going through all these clairs. So clairaudience is clearly hearing spirit. Okay, so this is different than like hearing thoughts, like guidance coming through. Clairaudience is specifically you are hearing something that's not in your own voice. It's not your own thoughts. You're hearing, and you can psychically hear, same thing, like having an internal voice, which again is like hearing voices, which again, I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, I would never want that to happen. But again, you learn boundaries. You have, when you're in your sovereignty and inner authority, nothing has power over you ever. And yeah, we learn boundaries and how to not have fear about it. And, you know, there's a healthy fear in intuiting. It is keeping your space sacred. But anyways, so clairaudience, you can hear, yeah, voices. You might actually hear it, and not in like a scary way. Like you can hear the voice of your guides, angels, ancestors that are there. This sense is one that's not highly developed for me. I've never been very clairaudient, and it's most developed in people who are really attuned to music and hearing tones and beats and all of that. And that's always been something that's been very challenging for me is getting attuned to music. So but I do know many students and friends that I have got to be in space with that have this sense very developed, and it's really fascinating what they can experience both internally and also externally with this psychic ability to outwardly hear voices that are much further away that typically they wouldn't be able to hear. That might actually be happening in the space, like their sense, their actual hearing expands. You might actually hear sounds that are in the room that are actually there, like maybe birds chirping or like a chimes outside of you. Or, you know, you can hear this internal sound, like sometimes people's angels or guides will play them certain music and tones that are really healing to them. So yeah, that's other ways that you might hear sounds of like nature, and it's oftentimes your guides or ancestors sharing and just beautiful frequencies to you through this, this beautiful clair of getting to hear these sounds. It's really lovely. Okay, clairsentience is clearly feeling. This is one of the senses that I feel that most people have highly developed because we are innately sense beings, and we are constantly connecting to our surroundings. So this is, again, clearly feeling. So when you clearly feel spirits, you could literally feel someone else's emotions. It's a dynamic play. You can feel information, energetic information in the present moment. So say someone walks into the room, okay, and you just instantly feel their emotions. Okay, that's clairsentience. You're very much attuned to the emotions, the energy, the energetic imprint of a space, a room. I don't know about you, but for me, I'm very attuned to the energy of places as well. Just when I walk into a place, it's just like deeply bombarded by the people who were there before, or if there was lovely things happening there or not so good things happening there, and just really get to feel the sense of objects. When I'm intuiting, I'm getting a lot of clear sentient information from my clients about the emotional information from whatever's coming through on their body, their chakras, traumas, or things that are wanting to be healed. Okay, and then you can also get psychic information beyond just perceiving in this physical, like in the present moment. You can get clairsentient information from past experiences as well. So say you're able to access your soul wisdom and access past lives, access someone else's past lives. You can access multidimensional clairsentient information because you can feel what someone was feeling, ancestor was feeling generations and generations back. You can sense what your soul was feeling from 5 lifetimes ago, because that information's still there. So there's this level of sensing and feeling your surroundings and the energetic imprint of anything and anyone. And also you can psychically perceive multidimensional, you can clairsentiently feel multidimensional information as well. Okay. Claircognizance is clearly knowing spirit. So this is where your mental body, meaning you don't just receive mental thoughts in your mind, right? Of course, we're feeling it there, but you can receive claircognizant information from many areas of your body. You could tune into your root chakra. You could tune into your feet and ask your feet how they're doing. You'll get a response. You can tune into your womb space, your heart, anywhere in your body. You can get information. Claircognizant information often will come to you as words. Okay, this is where you're typically hearing your own words, the way you would speak. But there's this sense that it's coming to you. It's almost like hearing someone speak back to you. You're in conversation and someone responds. That's kind of what's happening when you're claircognizantly receiving. There's this like energy of response happening. You have a question, you're seeking, and something responds. And sometimes you're just in your day-to-day and you just kind of get a download. You just get a, whoa, where did that thought come from? Okay, and it might have come from a guide, it might have come from, the divine, whatever it is, and you just start, receiving this beautiful guidance and support or storytelling. I mainly get a lot of claircognizant information and clairvoyant and clairsentient information in all of my intuitive readings, and also when I am channeling information for lectures, masterclasses, programs, whatever content I'm creating. I'm always shifting into a space of channeling and receiving what the divine has to share and how I'm supposed to be a transmission for that. Okay, clairgustance and clairalliance. The last two, these are more rare, I should say, to feel and perceive. Clairgustance means clear tasting, and of course tasting and smelling goes so hand in hand, so I'm speaking of these together. And clairalliance means clear smelling, right? So this would be like if you smelt the perfume of your grandmother who has passed away many, many years, and you just smell it. Maybe you taste something that feels familiar to someone Maybe you're a guide or an angel or a spirit guide. Kind of, you get this whiff of a flower or a scent that just is so comforting to you, but there's nothing around that would have that smell. So that's kind of how sometimes these will come through. I have heard of some people who can actually use this sense in sensing the energy of people. I can actually taste and smell the health of people's energy fields and bodies, which is quite interesting. Okay. All right. So those are the clairs. And let's talk a little bit now about how to unlock your psychic senses. We talked a little bit about this before, but I want to just break it down a little bit and just kind of have a nice list for your head to think about. So unlocking your psychic senses so that you can become this divine channel takes, number one is always meditation. If you ever work with me, and for those who have worked with me, you always know how much I am talking about doing your meditation practice. I will share in just a moment a little bit about my story and how I've come to develop my psychic senses and offer professional intuitive readings and work with channeling information, creating mentorships and programs just based off channeling. Connecting to the Akashic records, accessing soul wisdom, and all of this stuff that just came through deep spiritual practice. Okay, there's no other way to go around it besides doing the work, witnessing yourself, sitting still, focusing, concentrating. So yeah, it's number one is meditation. And, you know, of course it could be start off with guided meditations if that's helpful for you, but truly shifting into a place where you can sit in silence, start with 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and be okay with being uncomfortable with your thoughts and what comes up, because developing your psychic senses takes, and holding the concentration to intuit takes the ability to focus and to then be quiet enough in your mind and in your body to actually receive, to actually hear. It's not just about connecting and clicking in to the divine, clicking into what you're wanting to intuit. It's about actually being quiet enough, still enough within yourself to be able to hear, to be able to perceive what's coming through so that you can make use of the beautiful information and beautiful divine light and energy that's flowing to you always. Okay, so of course, concentration practices. I mean, that could be breath work techniques, guided meditations, really focusing on whatever helps to really bring your mind to a state, you know, going on conscious walks, doing an activity that you're focused on for a while, to really, focus your mind. But again, if the mind needs a lot of healing on its own physically, which is why we really need to detox specifically from heavy metals to actually develop a higher level of concentration in the brain. Okay, so also prayer helps so much with developing your psychic senses, because you're able then to access this sense of devotion and this welling, this sense of love and creativity, and this really allows us to shift from like the real intense logical brain to more of the subtle, the intuitive, the playful brain that we actually need in order to intuit. Is we can't really be in the logical brain. Intuiting is not something, when you're psychically receiving information, intuiting, it's not something that can be scientifically proved. It never will be, because there's many things that are beyond scientific proof in the scientific method. It's something that is it is a deeply felt science, a deeply felt wisdom in the body. And prayer really allows you to shift into that space of deep trust and love and connection. Okay. Okay. And then, keeping your body clean. I did talk about that with, just, your movement practices and, cleansing the body and so on. Okay, aligning with masculine and feminine energy. This is very important. Understanding, I've done a masterclass in this space on activating I forget what the title was, but it was something about balancing the masculine and feminine energy in your body and at each of your chakra centers. This is so important because you have to be able to harmonize these centers so that you can tune into the masculine and tune into the feminine energy, and working with them together to intuit properly, because sometimes you will need the masculine active energy when activating your psychic senses, and sometimes you need to shift into the feminine surrender, passive energy to psychically sense and perceive information. Okay? So also you have to just practice channeling, practice intuiting, practice connecting to spirit and your guides, and, just playing in your life, shifting into just dancing randomly, or, do an art project that you haven't done in a while, make something. Be silly, don't take yourself seriously, use your imagination. This is all so important to access that part of yourself that can intuit, that can activate psychic senses. Okay, and learn something new. This is really powerful. Just getting out of your mundane, your cycles, what you think you know, and trying something new, trying a new practice, doing something you've always wanted to try and maybe never did. And also, instead of searching Google, ask God first. Okay, I will do this often, is just before I go maybe Google something I've never heard of, or a spiritual topic, or I don't know, whatever it might be. I'll just maybe I'll just sit first and just open up and receive and see what comes through. And you start practicing this ability to listen, because all information is in the ethers. You have access to all vibrational information that's ever been recorded. So anything that you are searching, you can psychically intuit to it and access it. It's just about diving in and seeing what comes up. Okay. And then, connecting with your chakras, learning how to become embodied, working with Reiki practices, energy channeling techniques, and so on. Okay, so let's talk about briefly how this is going to change your life. So as discussed in the beginning, part of unlocking your psychic senses is shifting into becoming a divine channel, and therefore activating your body and your soul with divine light so that you are crystal clear in your power and purpose. So unlocking your psychic senses also allows you to access soul information and more subtle energetic information in your surroundings and in your relationships. When you are psychically developed, you are deeply aware of your needs, of your desires, and your faults. Okay? You are open to divine guidance, and you receive that divine guidance where you need to heal and evolve, meaning you receive guidance on when you need to tap into your humility. You receive so much conscious support as well, and from your guides, from the divine, from your own inner power, authority, knowing yourself. And you have this sense of feeling deeply protected and safe, because you're literally channeling divine consciousness. You know that you are always belong, and you are always worthy, and you're always safe, and you're always connected and supported and loved. And you can at any moment feel this presence of the divine love in your life. You just slow down, and it's like, all right, I'm connected. It's okay. I don't need to know. You can trust that everything's going to be okay, even if life is falling apart, because you feel the divine in your body. So becoming a divine channel and developing psychically is not about knowing the future and being perfect. There are possible predicted outcomes for the future if you develop psychically and kind of look into the future and so on. Future gazing is not something I do much, because there's possible predicted outcomes, but the future is always evolving and changing. So again, becoming a divine channel and developing psychically is not about knowing the future and being perfect. It's actually about having complete trust in the unfoldment of life and not trying to control it, because control is a fear-based action. We control because we want something a certain way, because we're gripping, we're grasping, we're attaching. And don't get me wrong, I try to control things too. I'm not perfect, so I get it. If there's things that you're still trying to control, I get it. But it's about coming back to oh wow, that's really depleting my power, right? And I'm really trying to grasp onto something that I don't have control over. Instead, choosing to shift into my divine channel, shift into that presence of divine consciousness, and just feeling that innate and grounded sense of trust, of light, of love, of peace, and of humility, and of course expansion and connection, and so on. Okay, so really briefly, let's talk about my experience with getting to this place where psychically to offer, intuitive readings. I've offer an entire psychic development course called the Sacred Intuitive, and also all of the Reiki trainings I offer really unlock a greater intuitive connection, because you literally learn how to become a channel of a different consciousness of holy fire Reiki. So you actually start strengthening your energy body and chakra system and physical body to become a greater channel of the divine. So yeah, I've always been highly sensitive. I've also been psychically connected or activated in previous lives as well. It's something I've always been developing or been a part of my life. And I was definitely extremely highly sensitive as a child and just felt everything. I always took on everyone's, especially my family's emotions, especially my parents, specifically my father. And yeah, just really absorbed all emotions, thought it was mine. Growing up, I had really no spiritual support. I wasn't part of any spiritual community. A little bit a part of Catholic Church. Not a little bit, I definitely was really quite involved, but my family wasn't that religious, I should say. So overall, grew up without really a sense of spiritual support or knowing how to develop that. It wasn't really a conversation in my house. So it just became very painful being this sensitive, because I didn't know how to I just I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know how to protect myself, have boundaries around it. Where I began, something else started, that I had a say over whether I chose to feel someone's emotions or not. This led me to wanting to continue constantly people please and make sure everyone's okay, and problem solve everything. And yeah, it's just really, really quite draining. And yeah, I grew up, especially into my teenage years, just being even more affected by it, especially having all the different jobs that I had, and just my whole mood would change like throughout the day. I couldn't even watch movies for a very long time, because I would be so emotionally affected by the emotional roller coaster of movies that I couldn't even watch them. I was like, I'm good. I'm at a good emotional state. Why would I watch something that like brought me in all these different emotions? It literally didn't make sense to me why people liked movies. Now I understand. They're wonderful. Now that I know how to have boundaries and I know myself, it's very enjoyable. So, but this is the level of deep sensitivity that I had, and I'm grateful for it, because this sensitivity really allows me to perceive a lot of energetic information and psychic information to help and to serve, to connect to the divine, and also connect with my clients and community. But yeah, it was definitely quite crippling as a teenager. So as I started practicing yoga and learning meditation, and then of course working with Reiki, I started and learning very deeply how to reclaim my power. It's a story for another time. I started knowing that I can have really sacred boundaries, not just physically in my life, but very clear sacred boundaries in my energy. And as I started to know myself more through meditation, very deep meditation for many years. I don't meditate as deeply now that I have 2 little girls. Life is much different than pre-children, but that initial really powerful foundation of meditating about half hour to 45 minutes every morning and evening for a couple years really shifted. It allowed me to actually feel, to perceive and anchor in the feeling of divine consciousness in my body, and to choose to feel it in any moment. And then what's taken it to the next level, of course, is working with Reiki and learning this what it feels like to channel divine consciousness, divine energy. And knowing that that foundation, I started sensing when I was picking up information that wasn't divine, that wasn't loving, that wasn't right, and knowing how to, I don't want to channel that. I don't want to tune into that. This is my energy field. I just started becoming a lot more aware of what's mine and what's not. Okay. And choosing to tune my dial, tune my consciousness and awareness to that which I wanted to tune into. Okay. So, yeah. So now, and I started, in it kind of fell upon me, these intuiting for my clients. And I just started, perceiving their thoughts and getting a lot of information about their bodies and information that was going on. I had no idea what was going on. This was like in 2017, and just thought I was going a little crazy. And yeah, but finally, I started hearing little tidbit. I didn't know anybody at the time who was intuiting and psychically connecting. Now I've built a wonderful community around it, and now I'm very committed to empowering other people to recognize that you are innately intuitive, that you start hearing and feeling and sensing information, because as you spiritually develop, it's what's going to happen. And so instead of feeling like, oh shit, what's happening, and it's like, oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful that I'm psychically connecting. I can feel more of the divine in my body. But yeah, when I first started experiencing all of that, I really didn't know what was going on, but all I knew is that the information that was coming through was empowering and changing the lives of the women I was working with. And so that was enough for me to say, okay, we're gonna keep doing this and continue to develop it. And yeah, now it's been about a little less than 6 years of sharing intuitive readings with my community, and it's just spread to so much information comes through, and it's really profound when I offer those healing sessions, but also in my own life, when I'm having a really hard time slowing down and choosing to tune in and tuning into my guides and my ascended masters that I work with, tuning into the divine consciousness in my body and receiving divine wisdom beyond my ego. It's really profound the way that there's so much inner resources and support that we can have when we can just slow down and develop this divine connection to be this really beautiful channel of divine light. Okay, so I have three different offerings in all of my work, and I mentioned them a little bit, but if this has really been something that's piquing your interest and you're feeling like you want a little bit more or a lot of bit more guidance and support and the tools and techniques to activate your intuitive abilities really and your psychic abilities strongly, profoundly, clearly, in a way that feels really empowering. And also I do offer support for people who want to start offering professional intuitive readings, meaning psychically and intuitively perceiving for other people, for their clients, for their community. So I have helped about I was trying to do the math today, but I was thinking around over 75 men and women throughout the years, specifically with developing their intuitive and psychic abilities through the Sacred Intuitive program that I offer, Reiki trainings, and private Reiki and intuitive reading sessions. Almost always when I'm working with somebody, people are interested in understanding who are my guides? How do I connect to them more deeply? I want to feel the presence of God in my body, right? I want to feel that divine connection. I want to hear myself. I want to know my inner authority. All of this is psychic connection. And so this comes up a lot when I'm working with clients, and it is because it's so important. So I do have a holy fire for those who are already Reiki level 2 trained. I do have a Holy Fire Reiki Master training coming up in June. And if you're not, and again, so working with Reiki, especially at the master level, you become really ignited. At the master level, you become ignited with Holy Fire Reiki energy. And this means you become able to pass this Holy Fire flame on to others. So you really develop spiritually and energetically in your energy system and in your chakra system and your energetic bodies, and you truly feel this sense of being this really powerful channel of divine light flowing into your body. So again, this Holy Fire Reiki Master training is in June. If you are interested in Reiki and you're not a level 1 or 2, I am offering a Holy Fire level 1 and 2 training in October. I know it's far away. I only offer a couple a year now. So yes, and then also I do offer, if Reiki's maybe not where you want to activate your intuitive senses, I'm offering another round of my Sacred Intuitive program. And this is a 10-week intensive course learning how to offer intuitive and professional readings for yourself and for others. And then also, if you just want to kind of have an intro into activating your intuitive abilities, or heal any blockages that are maybe have come up recently, or especially if you already are psychically intuiting and you just kind of want to tune up, or if you're just dipping your toes into intuiting and psychically connecting, I do also offer just one-off private sessions to really clear your energy system and offer you specific spiritual and intuitive guidance, because I'll channel psychic information while we're in it, about how you can focus on developing your intuitive senses. Okay, so again, if you're really ready to take your psychic abilities to the next level, just send me a DM. You can say you're interested, and we'll set up a call and talk about what feels best. Or you can click the link that's in the description. You can just go ahead and schedule yourself a 30-minute call, and we can just talk and see where you're at and see what's going to serve your highest good. So it was so wonderful to get back on a live call. I know it's been like a month. Like I said, I've been in such a deep creation phase, and I really haven't been sharing too much about what's been going on, because I will in about a month, starting in June, because I'm still creating so much content. It's this epic journey that's been years in the making, and yeah, I really, really can't wait to share it and to share more information about it. But in the meantime, if you're interested in psychically developing, reach out to me and we'll see what works best. It was just such a joy to be back in this space with you all, and I'm sending you all so much love, all the beautiful blessings. Thank you for being here with me, and yeah, have a beautiful full moon night. And we are halfway between the equinox and the solstice, so it really feels like we're shifting into this beautiful spring energy now. So all right, dear friends, mwah, so much love to you, and talk soon.